Welcome back, everybody, to the Gamecock Dynasty here, as today we continue SEC play against the Missouri Tigers. Last week out, we took on the Volunteers. It was a very exciting episode and one of the best games I've ever been a part of, so if you did not catch that, go check it out now. But as you can see, we are ranked 21st in the country. Last week, we were 23rd. We just barely eked out a win over the struggling Volunteers, and thankfully, we were able to move up a couple of spots, but already now, we face a 3rd and inches, and this one in Rattler is just going to keep it simple as he dumps it down to Lloyd, who makes a move to the outside. He is able to break a tackle, but doesn't get much out of it. So now a 3rd and 3 for Rattler and company as he stands in the shotgun all alone, wants to throw down the middle of the field to Kerion Joyner, is brought down by the ankles after 26 yards, and this Gamecock offense has found their groove these last few weeks. 1st and 10, Rattler on the screen to Van. Got some nice blocking as he tries to cut it outside. He was actually kind of blocked by his own man now. 3rd and inches. Play action from Rattler. Wants to roll around. All kinds of space to run, and then instead he dumps it upfield to CBS. Christian Bill Smith with an 8-yard touchdown for the Gamecocks as they start the day 7-0 now over the Missouri Tigers. Now, this Tigers team is led by a young quarterback who wears number 21. That is not a very common number you would see from a quarterback, but he's pulling a Shea Patterson. He's wearing 21. Now, on a 3rd and 1, they're relying on their big-name running back, Nathaniel Piet, for 7 yards, and here we go. 1st and 10 for the Tigers offense. Got a lot of emphasis on this first drive as Horn's going to be able to find his receiver Bannister, who falls on top of someone and gets back up, but Barrett Bannister is still brought down just a few yards short of that first down. So now they face the 3rd and 5 for Ron Horn and company. Horn takes the snap. He wants to pass it, and he's almost picked off. I don't know why I called him Ron Horn. It was Sam Horn, but he is almost intercepted by Sherrod Green, and there's a chance that gets returned for a touchdown. And on a 3rd and 10, Rattler trying to force it into coverage, and it barely just misses being intercepted. So now we get to see Horn again on the field as he hits Bannister again, who's going to break a few tackles, and 17 yards later, he is brought down by the shoulder pads. Now 35 seconds remain in this first quarter. 2nd and 7. Horn takes the snap, wants to throw, and he gets hit. 8-yard loss by Mo Kaba. A big hit on the quarterback there. 3rd and 15 now as we enter the final 10 seconds of this quarter. Horn's going to go to Piet. Piet's going to get some nice blocks, makes a man miss, and he's got the first down and then some. 2 more yards than he actually needed, but he's able to rumble for about 17 out of those 15 yards. 3rd and 8 on the later part of that drive in the second quarter. Horn's going to try a screen pass. It gets broken up, and he just has to eat the sack. The Tigers would be forced to settle for a short field goal here, about a 35-yarder, and they are going to bring this back down to a 4-point game as it flies right through the uprights. And now Rattler and company, after 3-and-out last time, they want to get this consistency going, and that's how you do it. Juice Wells pushing people off of him as he gets run down right in front of that 50-yard line. Next on 1st and 10, Rattler's going to change the play up a little bit, and now he's going to hit Jaheim Bell on the drag route. He's going to break a tackle, and this team just can't be tackled right now as Jaheim Bell turns what is likely a 8-yard catch and run into a 19-yard reception. Now 3rd and 7 for Joyner, who is back in the game at quarterback, and he gets sacked deep down in red zone territory, and that one will bring this Gamecock offense to a halt here as they settle for a field goal, extending their lead back up to 7, making it a 10-3 ball game as we get to see Sam Horn and company now. About 3.5 minutes remain, a little more in this quarter, and Horn delivers a beautiful pass to Bannister, who just says, "Get off of me," to Darius Rush, and he shoves him to the ground. Now this Tiger offense is in plus territory. 2nd and 8. Horn wants to go downfield. Nobody quite open. Instead, he slings it to the sideline, and it's dropped. Darius Rush tried to redeem himself from that hideous stiff arm, but instead they get a chance here on 3rd and 8. The Gamecocks defense has been pretty pathetic so far on 3rd down. They're going to give it to Piat this again, and he gets just right at the line marker. They don't give it to him. And now it's a 4th and 1, a quick snap to Schrader, and he's got a lot of room on the left side. R.J. Roderick gets blocked, and Cam Smith finally trips up Cody Schrader 22 yards later, it's a 2nd and goal for the Tigers. Horn is under center now, and he's going to give it to Schrader, who just follows his blockers. That was a beautifully drawn up play, and the Tigers are going to be able to tie this one up 10-all here with about a minute and a half remaining in this first half. Rattler on 3rd and 7 is going to roll out, fires across his body, and it's intercepted. Rakestraw Jr. is going to jump the pass, and he's got some good blocking down the sideline out about to the 30-yard line in Gamecock territory. And now the Tigers take over with a minute remaining, and they get the ball first in that second half. On 3rd and 10, though, they're going to settle for a very safe screen pass. And after a 5-yard loss, they're going to kick a field goal here, about a 35-yarder again. And that one goes right down that left side. Actually, it hits the upright, and it actually still goes in as we head into the third quarter, down 13-10. Rattler did throw another interception there late in that second quarter, just heaving it downfield. So if you see that at the end of the game statistics, that's why he has an extra interception. But instead, this offense starts their second half with a obvious run to Nathaniel Piatt. They have been very successful so far on the ground. 2nd and 7 now for Horn and company. He wants to throw downfield. Got a man open downfield, and Bannister luckily gets caught from behind by R.J. Roderick. Roderick at times this year has had issues in coverage, and he had it that time. Thankfully, he was able to kind of mend the issues there with the tackle, but Sherrod Green leaves his man wide open. And the Tigers face a 3rd and goal here after that catch and run by Stevens. Horn wants to go to the end zone, fires to the left corner. He's got it. Barrett Bannister, an 8-yard touchdown run as the Tigers' lead is now 10 early in this third quarter. And Marshawn Lloyd just doing everything he can to get a 1-yard run there, but he gets 6 yards after he cuts it back. 1st and 10 now for the Gamecocks. Rattler wants to throw. He's going to settle for the slant to Josh Vann, who's got a lot of room up the middle, just outrunning the defender, trailing him. And now 2nd and 10 as Dak gets back into the game. Joyner takes the read option, and he gets hit hard. Losing 4 on the play. It's going to be a 3rd and 14 for this Gamecock offense. Rattler down the middle to an open Lloyd. Cuts back to his left, diving. Touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Marshawn Lloyd. He just barely got across that goal line. Wasn't exactly sure if he was going to be able to get there, but they give it to him. And now a big stop, or a big chance to stop him here on 3rd and 3 as Schrader's wide open, kind of falls backwards. But despite the stumble, he is still able to get over the line to gain. Now 1st and 10, Horn wants to throw again. This time he's got Lovett right across the middle. We haven't seen much of him, but a face mask gets them deep into our territory now. 2nd and goal. Horn wants to go to Piatt. Piatt's got a lot of room on the left side, and he just cuts right by Cam Smith, who had a chance. Just a slim shot at tackling him, but instead we see this Gamecock offense struggling now again. 27-17, now on a 1st and 10. Joyner looks to go downfield, and he's got his man Juice Wells to the 10-5. Oh my goodness, touchdown Carolina. DeKerion Joyner, who is typically just a mobile quarterback in there to run read options, delivers a strike for his career. 75-yard touchdown pass from Joyner to Wells, and that is going to bring this game back down to 3 now as we head into the fourth quarter. That is one of the biggest games of the season, or biggest plays of the season. And now on a 3rd and 8, Horn's going to go to the outside. A disappointing outcome there. You have him exactly where you want him again on a 3rd and 3. Very, very likely a running situation here as Piatt has been successful all day. This time, though, Cam Smith just outruns the blocking. It was there. It could have been set up, and he likely has a very, very long run. Thankfully, Cam Smith made the right read as Rattler on a 2nd and 10 delivers a beautiful bullet to Josh Vann there on the outside. Now 1st and 10 for Rattler. He's going to give it to Lloyd up that left side. We have not seen a ton from Marshawn Lloyd in the running game, but he does have about 60 yards rushing. Now 2nd and 6, DeKerion Joyner back in the game, rolling around. Oh my goodness. He goes down. 19-yard loss here as we face a 3rd and 25 down by 3. Rattler out of field goal range. Fires to Joyner, who's got the first down. Cuts it out, and he's got a touchdown. Probably the first player in NCAA history, I'd imagine, to throw a 75-yard touchdown pass and receive at minimum a 30-plus yard receiving touchdown in a game, because that is a very dominant stat. 3rd and 9, Sherrod Green just barely misses the interception now, and the ball is rolling for this Gamecock offense. You've got to think they're going to close this one out here on a 2nd and 4. Marshawn Lloyd gets way more than needed, 13 yards now. Later, it is a 1st and 10 with about 2 minutes, 15 seconds. And again, Lloyd's got a lot of space up that right side, just pushing people out of the way. And he has an 11-yard run for the Gamecocks now. 3rd and 6. Rattler looking like he wants to just keep it on the ground. They are going to run this clock down as low as they possibly can, as the Tigers are down 4, so a touchdown here essentially ices it despite or without any absolute miracles. And Marshawn Lloyd doesn't quite get the touchdown, but surprisingly enough, they give him the 1st and goal, and Rattler's going to just let him finish the job. 2-yard touchdown run there for Marshawn Lloyd. Now with about a minute remaining, no seconds left on the clock. The Tigers take the ball back, and they have to make a very big play here on 1st and 10, and they do just that as Dial misses the diving tackle to the 30, down at about the 23 as their leading receiver, Dominic Lovett. And now this offense is cooking. Excuse me, that was Dove, not Lovett. 4th and 7 for the Tigers. They're going to give it to Tyler Stevens, and they get a touchdown here late in this game. They would go for 2. They would get it. And now it is all up to this. An onside kick down by 3, and Debo Williams on the hands team. Not even lined up in an onside kick formation. He is going to get that. The Gamecocks now advance here. They have not lost since week 2 at Georgia, as they have an opportunity now to continue their SEC championship hunt. Marshawn Lloyd, the man of the day, 21 carries, 105 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and a touchdown in the air. Big game for this Gamecock offense, and a big game for this head coaching program beneath Belak Schmeeds. Well, at times it wasn't pretty, and unfortunately we did move down in the rankings, but this team came through. Kerion Joyner finished the day 1 of 2 on passing attempts, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Man, one of the most exciting times of the season so far, outside of maybe the Texas A&M ending in that pick 6 and the Tennessee game last week with Josh Vann getting the game-winning touchdown. Spencer Rattler, 17 of 27, 231 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Nothing great, but he was good enough to win us the game. Marshawn Lloyd had himself a magnificent day, 21-105, a touchdown on the ground, as well as a very good day through the air, 3 for 24 and a touchdown there. Josh Vann, 6 for 67, no touchdowns. Dak also added a touchdown through the air, 2 for 70, and Antoine Wells, 2 for 96 and a touchdown, with 75 yards being the longest. And obviously you guys saw CBS with the 8-yard catching touchdown in that first quarter. Cam Smith had 11 tackles, 2 for loss, a good outing by him. Mo Kaba had a sack. Zach Pickens, Jordan Birch all had sacks as well. And we've been building up to a moment like this for a long time now. We get to take on the biggest team we've taken on so far this year. The 5th-ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs are 7-0 so far. They have won some very good games already. I mean, when we took on Georgia, they had just lost to Texas A&M. Obviously, so far, Mississippi State hasn't had the toughest part of their schedule just yet, but they beat up on a 9th-ranked Oklahoma State team, beat Auburn pretty handedly by 15. They beat Vanderbilt by a good bit, barely squeaked out against LSU, and dominated Kentucky, a team that's struggling. And we have to host this team, or actually go to this team's stadium. We have a very, very tough outing here. They have a very talented roster. As you can see, Will Rogers, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions compared to Spencer Rattler. Why will it not move? For whatever reason, it just will not go back to the right. But Will Rogers, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions compared to Spencer Rattler's 18 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. They do not have as much of a running game as this offense does. Marshawn Lloyd is a much better overall running back than this the Johnson guy for Mississippi State, but he is still a talented player. And overall, this is a really big opportunity here. If we beat the 5th-ranked team in the nation, you know, there's a chance that we get a top 10 ranking. I mean, that is a big, big win. Unfortunately for us, we are without Brad Johnson for about 8 weeks following up last week against Tennessee still. And yeah, as of right now, most predictions are going to Mississippi State winning this one. Don't know if I showed you guys the recruiting classes rank last week. I know I showed you guys a couple of the recruits. So far, we sit at 67th in the nation. We've got a lot of room to grow, though. We do have a lot of points I still have to add. I don't think since last episode anybody else has committed. It still sits at Mike Harris, who I'm very excited about, Brandon Robinson, Greg Jackson, and Scott Hall. Obviously, a couple of these guys we are still going after pretty heavily, so I'm going to be keeping you guys in touch with this, but I'm not going to be giving you guys like a everyday update or every episode update unless we see somebody actually commit, because then, you know, it's actually something happening on the, you know, the recruiting board. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for the end of this episode. A good, solid outing today against the Tigers. If you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about next week's game against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. It's going to be difficult. It's at Mississippi State. We need to limit our turnovers because their offense is just way too good for us to be, you know, gifting them points. Right now, they have the best passing offense in the country. They have the number 4 points per game offense, tied with us, actually. They have the best total offense. And unfortunately for us, they have the worst rushing offense, which means they pass a ton. And we are very bad on the passing defense side. We're almost dead last. We're actually second to last. We're 125th, and they are, you know, there's 126 teams. So, going to be a challenge to take on the Bulldogs next week. Hopefully this time we can actually pull off the upset. As I said, go ahead and comment down below your predictions for next week's matchup. I will talk to you guys next episode. Peace.